Yo, Jonathan Sports here, and today I want to talk about, well, my favorite player from the draft, I'm most excited to see, that's Xavier McKinney. Now, there's reports saying that it's possible coming right out of the bye he plays, but from all I'm reading, he's slated to return week 13, so he'll miss the Bengals game most likely over this broken foot. But you know what? We're gonna get a few games here, 4 or 5 games, to get a good look at Xavier. I don't expect him to be in even half the reps. I think they'll slowly work him in. But yeah, actually, right before the draft, I kind of figured that the Giants were targeting safety. In the end of the first or end of the second, end of the third, something like that. So, I kind of already went through them. I watched like 2, 3 games from all the safeties. I went over and actually found my notes, and yeah, uh, this has been a while since I looked at them. So let's run through it, that Xavier, and then I'll kind of go over what I think his role could be and what it means for the other safeties on the team, just other players in general. But the first thing that pops up about Xavier is like he's not an elite athlete, but he's a good athlete. And I mean, the thing that really pops off is just how smart. And on Alabama, he knew his role, and not only his role, he knew where everybody's role was, and he was like really underrated blitzer, and he did great blitzing up the A gap or right up the middle. If you don't know all that stuff, but yeah, tackling wise, and he's a wrap up tackler. Now he can go a little high occasionally, and I can get him in trouble, but I just rarely see that from him. He is just a for sure tackler for the most part. And another thing that was impressive is they throw him down in the slot, kind of like put him at corner once in a while, and he held his own there. It's impressive. So another thing I noticed is he's just got like a great change of direction. But he's a little undersized, but he still gets good pop. Um, yeah, I mean, I just think his best traits are his versatility and intelligence. I mean, he's a really smart kid. He's one of the smarter safeties you're going to see. And versatility wise, you can move him all around if you want. Anywhere you want. But I'd kind of like him just to settle into one of these roles. Obviously he's going to move around once the play snaps off, anyways. But just get him familiar with one role to start with. Later on, once he grasps the entire defense, especially if Coach Graham is around for a while, that's good. Then he can move around. But just get him a constant role to start with. The only real negatives I could think of with Xavier was he's just not great at deep coverage at the moment. But there's not a lot of safeties that come out now, anyways. He just more than anything, he just needs to get his head turned around. It ain't like he's getting blown away down the field. It's just uh, if it's a one-on-one with a good wide receiver down the field, you might see a penalty here or there with him. But it ain't like he's horrible at it. So I've been seeing a lot of people say when Xavier's back, and people have been asking like, where should all the safeties line up? And obviously, Coach Graham is real inventive and he disguises everything. But I'd like to see him in that free safety slot. And then you can kind of put Logan Ryan across the field from him. And I think that frees up to really do whatever you want with Peppers. I mean, you could use him in that money backer role, almost like keep him down in the box and like an extra linebacker. But I think that's what makes the most sense. Between Logan Ryan and Jabril Peppers, if I had to say McKinney is which one of them safeties McKinney is more like, I'd say at the moment he's more like Jabril Peppers. Um, he's not going to be as good in coverage as Logan Ryan, and I just believe that he could do what Jabril Peppers does just as good. Now he obviously don't have the burst, but I think he makes up for what he lacks in athleticism in other departments. So honestly, if we wanted to lock up Logan Ryan long term, or even just do like a 2, 3 year, I think if the Giants weren't overly impressed with Jabril Peppers, and I'm honestly not overly impressed with him, I know he's had a couple good games. McKinney coming in and playing good really kind of makes Peppers expendable. So I just think McKinney comes in and all these guys, it just gives the Giants options. And I think I want to be careful because I don't, He could come out and look completely different than I think, just from all the games I watch and what I'm remembering of him and what I'm reading on my notes. I think over time he could be like, as good as Logan Ryan in coverage or whatnot. I just think that's gonna take time. And another question I keep seeing is people are asking like Logan Ryan, what do? We bring him back. And I his tackling has been very underwhelming for me. I'd love to bring him back, but I think that obviously that all comes down to money. Now, if it's like a two, I wouldn't want to give him more than 2 years, and I'd want to give him like 5 million a year. So like a 2 year, 10 million, and if he wants more than that, what's going on with the cap? We'll just have to move on. It sucks. He's a great leader and a good player. I'd love to keep him, and even though our record's not good and we're losing, it kind of feels like he likes it here too. He fits in with the coaching staff, and all the players kind of seem to like him. But I really just think that's it. I'm super excited to see Xavier McKinney. I think this is the perfect defense for him. Just the way all the different moving pieces with Patrick Graham and disguising, and the sky's the limit. And it'd be just neat to see all three of these guys, Peppers, Logan Ryan, and Xavier McKinney on the field at the same time. Really, who knows what you could do? You could you could run a cover three. Just keep three safeties up top. And at any time you can bring one of them down in the box, and you could just bring them all around. Anyways, I'm just pumped up. I'm excited about it. Super curious, but Xavier McKinney is not like a super high ceiling guy. But I think just because of his intelligence, there's no way he's like a bust. He's gonna be a good player. Maybe not Jamal Adams. You're not gonna get that ceiling, but Jabril Peppers. I think that's his floor. But a smarter Jabril Peppers. Anyways, that's it for me. I should have a few more videos out today or tomorrow. And stay safe, folks. Like and subscribe.